do I miss single life at all? I think I was with him for about 4 years. Oh, I just spilled my whole matcha. Hello, gorgeous girl, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So we are obviously in a different place. This is my hotel room in New York. I am back in Nueva York, my favorite place. Man, does this city just like energize me? But it's like a place that I just get like little dopamine hits and then I go back. I go back home. But I want to do something different, and I wanted to do something different with you, and you are a part of this video today. So welcome. And I'm so excited about it because there are questions that you ask me all the time, and I thought I would just really bring them together. So I asked you on Instagram, I also asked you on YouTube, and then I also was just kind of combing through some of the comments of the most frequently asked questions. So I thought, since I'm here, since I don't have my little one, I don't have my husband, I just have myself, we could hang out a little bit together here in my happy place, New York. So I think we should dive in. All right, let's dive into questiones. So Tracy, I adore your style. Who is your biggest fashion inspiration? I love that question. First of all, I've always been a huge fashion fan. I honestly feel like I sort of missed my calling. When I was a kid, back in the old days of like paper magazines, I never was over my friend's house without flipping through magazines. Like that was just my thing. So I feel like I was like born for social media in the sense of like, it was the same thing as like scrolling. Probably problematic if we really think about it, but I always love fashion. But who is my biggest, Kate Moss in the 90s. Oh, there's a bug in here. Kate Moss in the 90s, always. Carolyn Bessette, 90s, may she rest in peace. Jessica Alba, I think, has amazing style. Stassi Schroeder. I really, especially with age, I feel like the more classic, less fussy-wussy, like when I was younger, it was like Sienna Miller, like that very like hippie boho look, which I do still love. But I tend to, as I'm getting, older, now at 50, I like suiting. I like, more classic, a little bit more minimal. So that 90s minimal is just my jam. Okay, now we're in the bathroom because I have to get ready, and I told you, but I wanted to just hang with you guys. So the lighting is giving Crypt Keeper, but we have skincare that must be done because homegirl is dehydrated. So the next question was, when did I hit menopause? But I think one of the better and honestly kind of bigger questions, I've been in menopause for 3 years. People often get very upset with me because I say I've been in menopause. Let me break that down for you. I was told by my doctor that our hormones are constantly shifting and changing. And I think a misnomer is that people often think, oh, once I hit menopause, that one day of menopause and then everything else is post-menopausal. Well, I don't like saying post because that kind of implies as though you are finished. And that is not the case at all, my friends. Like, there is so much more that changes. I am in the thick of it. So I have been in menopause, as I like to say, for 3 years. Just about 3 years. December will be 3 years. Let's talk about perimenopause. During perimenopause and menopause, your body is literally working so much harder at the cellular level to adapt to all those hormone changes. That's why I'm excited to share about Needed's cellular aging support. This product was designed specifically to help support healthy aging, energy, and resilience from the inside out. It's formulated with targeted antioxidants to support things like cellular energy, ovarian and mitochondrial health, and a healthy inflammatory response. But what I love is that it was designed in partnership with women's health experts. It's third-party tested, vegan, and it's free of allergens, GMOs, and any fillers. And it even has clean label product certifications, which means it's been rigorously tested for purity. And here's the real thing. There's just so much about this stage of life that we really can't control, right? But nutrition and cellular support is one area where we can actually be proactive. So if you're navigating perimenopause or menopause, or if you just want to feel your best at whatever age you are, this is definitely worth checking out. So right now, Needed is offering an extra 20% off your order, including one-time purchases and already discounted subscriptions. So I'll leave leave everything linked down below in the description box. Check that out, or use my code TracyC at checkout. Next question. What's something that you've completely changed your mind about over the last few years? Oh my gosh, such a good question. I mean, I feel like I've changed my mind about a lot of things. I'll tell you a hot thing. I'm not going to change my actual life, but today, being by myself, walking around the cité, I was like, you know what? I could have a second kid. I don't want to, so let me make that clear. Also, the shop is closed. Menopause for 3 years, hello. Obviously, there's a million different ways you can have a child. We could adopt, we could do something, but I get why there's like that like window between 3 to like often, you know, obviously everyone's different, but like 3 to 6 years, because the way that I see my daughter not being a baby anymore and how it brings up all the feelings for me is bananas. And I think another thing that I've changed my mind about would be like not judging women for their choices. I think I was a little bit judgy about women that chose to have like boob jobs, if I'm being completely frank. And I don't feel that way anymore. That's not a choice that I want to make, but I'm also like, what's the difference between a boob job and Botox? Like nothing, you know? So I just really, with age, I just am leaning more into like, women should do what makes them feel the most confident. And I think that's really, really important. And I think that's, again, another beautiful thing that comes with age is realizing that it's your life, it's your body, and you know, you should do whatever makes you feel the best. And it doesn't matter if your best friend doesn't do it, or you know, someone in your family doesn't agree, or whatever. It's your face, it's your body. So like, you do you, boo-boo. That's a big change. Next question is, do I ever get recognized in the street? Every once in a while. It doesn't happen that often. But I love it when it does. I'm not gonna lie. I am a hugger. I am a friendly gal. I love meeting you guys in the wild. Nothing makes me happier. I was actually just talking to my manager, and you know, I was at this event. That's why I'm here. I came for an event with SkinCeuticals. And, you know, they're such an incredible brand. And so I was like, yeah, I'll get on a plane and come to New York for that. And so after the event was over, I called my manager and I was talking to her, telling her how the event went and how it was so great. And she was like, well, you know, that's so great. You went and made FaceTime and chatted with everyone. And I was like, I'm basically by myself all day long. Like, I crave being around people and being in real life. And you know, it actually energizes me. It brings me great joy to like meet people. So if you ever see me on the street, say hello. I love that. It makes me happy. And wow, I look white. I think it's just this lighting, but this lighting is not good, guys. But we are doing all the things because we are doing the things. By the way, before we get into the next question, I just have to say this blush, Rare Beauty in shade Happy, I'm so in love with it. It came in my FabFitFun box for the fall, and look at that. I mean, again, this lighting sucks, but like, it's beautiful. It is a beautiful, hello, speak English, beautiful blush. Gorge. We need an eyebrow. At the SkinCeuticals event, they had this LED light that showed, what was it called? LED UV light. I am forever changed. I have a lot of sun damage underneath this skin. So we are going to be going to our laser journey very soon. I'll take you along for the ride, but that was disturbing. Anyway, next question is, what's the best thing and the hardest thing about being a mom at almost 45? So yes, I had my daughter. We did IVF. A lot of people ask me about this. It is quite a journey. There's a really, really long story, but I'll tell you, I haven't done a full video about the whole journey because quite honestly, I want to tell my daughter first. And I feel like that's just the fair thing to do. So I do tell people about my IVF, but you know, there's specifics that quite frankly, I want to tell my daughter first, you know, as she gets a little bit older and can understand. So So that's that. So I'm blessed and so grateful that we were able to, get pregnant through IVF. And that's the best. Okay, so what's the hardest thing about being a mom at nearly 45? I think sometimes, okay, it's like a good and a bad thing. I live my life. I lived my life in my 30s and my 20s. In my 20s, it was like make a lot of mistakes. I had a, live-in boyfriend that was like my college boyfriend, my first love, great guy, but just not my guy. So we were living that very like artsy life that I think is wonderful to live, especially in your 20s. Then in my 30s, I had some pockets of single time, but I met my husband when I was like 36. So my point being, I had a lot of time to play, to experiment, to party, to sleep until, whenever I wanted to, stay up really late. I thought when my husband was getting ready for work and leaving the house at 7 a.m., he was like insane. And like, I can't even tell you the last time I slept till 7 a.m. So that is great and also really hard. Hard in the sense because I lived a full life before having my child. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, and I think parents are liars if they don't say like, there are days when I miss like being able to have a Saturday and just like laying on the couch and doing a workout at like noon, and then getting a late brunch at like 2, 3 o'clock. That's what we used to do back in the day, but we just can't do that anymore. I love my daughter so much. She just turned 6. And another hard thing is, I'm feeling very emotional here in New York because I see her really growing up before my eyes and her turning into this like little girl. She's not a baby anymore. And she's amazing. And she's so funny and she's so smart and she's such a like heart. She has a word that she uses, which is heartful. And she is just so heartful. And it's amazing. I could cry. Oh God, I'm going to be one of those people that cries on the internet. I hate that. Anyway, it's because she is my only daughter. It's like I can feel the slipping through my fingers, and that's hard. That's really hard. So I just, I know that that's part of letting her grow, and part of the journey of being a mother is this, and it means I'm doing a good job. I don't have to like it, and I don't. I do not like it, but I love her, and I love this tiny human that we created and that we're watching grow and watching her turn into her own person. And she loves dancing and singing, and now she's learning to read, and just watching her confidence, like, it's crazy. This trip was the first trip since I've gone, on like a work trip where I'm like desperately missing her. It's really interesting. And it's because she's like my little buddy, and I'm just so grateful for her. So yeah, that's like the best and the hardest. Motherhood's a trip, guys. I mean, it is weird. It is, nothing can prepare you for this. Nothing. Okay, I'm only going to be able to do one more of these because my friends are on their way and we're going out to dinner. And, it's time to have a little girls' din. So the next question, they're on my phone here, is, do you regret moving to Miami? No. Not in a million years. Not in a second. I love that city so much. Miami is a vibe. Miami is the best. Miami is different, and it's definitely not for everyone. So I did not want to originally move to Miami. I love New York. And I was like, why would I leave the city that I love so much? We're like, young, we're successful, we've got like so much freedom and, blah, blah, blah. But I should have put my eyeliner on first. Dang it. And I didn't have a single friend. I knew no one in Miami. And that was my biggest fear. So for those of you, we moved when I was 43, I believe. And so I think it's such a common conversation. Like, it's hard to make friends like in your 40s. Not my opinion at all. I actually think it's better, and I'll tell you why. I love my girlfriends. That's who I'm actually having dinner both nights that I'm here with. So I'm like so grateful. They're like sisters to me. And moving to a new city, having to make friends at this stage in my life is very different and like kind of what I'm looking for in a friend. And, you know, and that's no shade on my friends. I love my friends. Like, obviously, that's why I'm hanging out with them and spending time with them. I'm so excited to see them. But I think it's such a beautiful thing to make new friends when you are, you know, at a different stage in life. The other thing is, you know, I'm a parent. So I moved to Miami and I quickly became a parent. So I have mom friends. You know, one of my closest friends, Susie, no kids, but like just a joy, a light in my life. Like, so grateful for her. And then I have, you know, friends that are moms, and that's really, really important. Then I have other friends that are creators. So that's also very important. So yeah, but anyway, about Miami's the best. Now, let's talk about like why it's not for everyone. It is Latin America. So if you do not hablo español, it can be a little bit difficult. I'm not gonna lie, like it is true. I love the Latin influence, and honestly, if you don't like the Latin influence in Miami, you shouldn't be in Miami. Like that's Miami. But as like a little white girl who doesn't really speak Spanish, you know, if I didn't have my husband, who Spanish is his first language, I think it would be very difficult. I cannot do anything when it comes to home repairs, you know, organizing things like that. Because generally speaking, most people understandably speak Spanish. And so I'm not comfortable doing that. So it, you know, it's, you gotta at least pick up a little bit of Spanish if you want to live in Miami and have a good time and have like an easy time or, you know, a good experience. It's slower. It's definitely a slower pace in some ways, but there has been such a, you know, so many people have moved here from other places. I think it's really, the city has changed considerably. I've lived there now this is the beginning of my 7th year, which is crazy. I blame COVID for it feeling, I mean, it literally feels like it's been 3 years, but I guess it's because of COVID. Okay, we're losing the light. I gotta get changed. I have to go to dinner with my girls, so we're gonna pick this back up. Friday morning, and I'm going to get a blowout. It is early. So 7 a.m. blowout because I'm getting some pictures taken sort of on the fly. Today I just felt inspired, you know, in New York, and thought, let's get some photos. And it's actually kind of funny because where I'm doing my shoot is here in Madison Square Park in this area, and I literally had a photo shoot there when I was, I don't know, like 10 years ago, something like that, and I actually just walked by the block that I used to live on. So kind of a little full circle moment, just 2 looks, 1 hour, no big deal. So we need to fix this hair. My purse keeps falling off of my shoulder, which is annoying. I forget about, you know, which is necessary, people cleaning the streets. My jeans are too long, so I keep avoiding all the puddles because it's that time where, you know, everybody's getting ready for their day. So let's go get a blowout. We're done. We are glam. My blowout is very soft. This is not what I would consider a beach wave, but like it's fine. We have makeup done. I never change my makeup. It's the same that I always do. I would love to show you my outfit, but the issue is that there's just not enough light in here. So I'm just wearing this sort of like red slip dress, and then I have a little tweed jacket that like I'll wear sometimes, sometimes not. And then I have like a very fall, like a sweater vest and a pair of chocolate brown trousers. And so I feel like it's gonna look good. So I'm excited. Let's go take some snaps, do my job, do all the things. I'm excited. Let's answer a couple questions. I realize I have a few minutes. So the next question is, have you had filler, or is it just good genes and skincare? I'd say it's a little bit of both. So I had filler 3 years ago. Or no, sorry. The last time I had filler was like 3 years ago, but the first time I had filler was probably, gosh, 10 years ago. I'm not a big filler girl. I don't really like how it looks, but I had to get it 10 years ago because due to a breakup, I lost a ton of weight. It was actually when I first started like really popping on YouTube, and all these people were like, "Oh my God, you look amazing." I was like, I'm just anxious as hell. And, I was eating like everything, but I lost, a considerable amount of weight. And so my injector at the time, actually, she's a doctor, my dermatologist, Sapna Wesley, if you're in New York, she's amazing. She is the most like, you don't need anything, you're good. Like, she's very, very conservative, which is why I like her. So if you're looking for like a very natural look and you live in New York, I highly recommend her. But she was, for the first and only time, like, yeah, like your face has kind of fallen a little bit, because I just, kind of quickly lost weight. So I got filler. And then about 3 years ago, I don't know, it was just kind of that like post baby, post COVID, I was feeling a little blah. I got some filler. But I'm not a real filler girl. What I do, and I have a whole video about it, is Botox. I love Botox. I like a more natural, like, look, I am Botox, but you can still see, movement, which is what I'm now requesting. I just want smooth, but I still want like expression, and I tend to get like eyelidy, like clothes, and then I look tired. I'm like, what's the point of this? So I'm very, very specific about the kind of Botox that I like, and I also feel like you should do what you want to do. Like, if you want to get Botox, get Botox. If you don't want to get Botox, go natural, I was having dinner last night with my friends, and one of my friends is very, very like natural aging. Like, I'm not going to do anything. And she looks gorgeous. She's also half Thai, so she's got major, great genes. And then, my other friend and I, like, we will get Botox. That is one of the other questions, is how often do I get Botox? And now at this point, I really, and I'm able to stretch it. And I truly believe that's because I'm gua shaing on a regular. Now, granted, when you get Botox, you have to wait. So I don't recommend doing gua sha after you've had Botox, because you don't want to move the Botox. And I actually do Daxify. That's the kind of toxin that I get. Toxin, how crazy is this? But anyway, I mean, I do it, and it's my choice, right? And so you kind of can't do it for a good 2 weeks after. And then if you get a touch up, right? So it's almost like a month. So I didn't do gua sha for a good like month. It feels so good to be back. Like, I feel like, especially for this area of my face, it really gives me a good lift. And also for like the brows. Like, I notice when I do it, I'll start off, my eyes are like, and then I'm like, whoop, like totally bright. So we love that. Oh my God, this is funny. And this is the last one I can do, because I do have to get ready for the shoot. Um, why don't we ever see your husband? And how does he feel about you being a content creator? Love this. So when I first met my husband, he has zero social media, zero profile. Like, homeboy does not exist. And the only thing I could find was like his father. I was like, what is happening? He just, it's not his thing. He's not into it. He does love TikTok. He's obsessed with TikTok, but he doesn't post anything. I like that. Call me old fashioned. I think that's a total turn off if you've got like a guy like posting all kinds of things on social media. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just think that that's sort of weird. So he's pretty private. He is very funny. He is very animated. He makes fun of me, I mean, in a loving way. Like, he'll be like, "Hey guys," and I'm like, I don't say "hey guys." Like, give me a break. How does he feel about me being a content creator? Super proud. It's one of the things that I just love about him so much. My husband is the most just naturally confident person I've truly ever met. He is so secure in who he is. And that's super attractive, right? Like, he does not feel the need to prove anything to anyone, which I love. So he, he's just like, he thinks it's great. He's super proud of me. He loves and supports me in the sense of like, that's great. Like he's very, like if we go to a party or something like that, he is the first person. Like I get shy a little bit. I'm working on that. But he's the first one to be like, oh my gosh, Tracy has like a huge YouTube channel and she's got so many followers and, they love her and she's just making such a difference. And it's really nice. So he feels great about it. And when I met him, I was already doing it. I mean, because I've been doing this a long time. So yeah, I'm very lucky because that was not always the case. I had a boyfriend who was actually like my fiance, and I didn't end up marrying him, obviously, who was for sure jealous, insecure about it. And I was like, that is not the vibe. Like, you should be happy for me. You should be supportive of me. You should be cheering me on. You should be like, look at, like all this cool stuff that my woman is doing. And so we moved on. We live, we learn. Hey guys, I hope you can hear me because I am on the street. I'm actually just going to hold my mic because why not? So I am going to go get a matcha because I have literally not stopped since I've been here. And then we're going to go to the park and answer some more questiones. Avete domande? That means, do you have questions in Italiano? Let's do this. The craziest thing just happened. I was sitting at the park and I was going to start answering questions and there was like a rat behind me. So that was unpleasant. Anyway, okay, so the next question is, do you ever feel invisible now that you're over 50? No, not at all. I just think that's such a dated mindset and that has not been my experience at all. I feel more wanting to be seen. It's not about other people either. And that's what I think is, one of my favorite things about getting older is the fact that like, it's not about trying to get attention from like men or, obviously I'm married too. So it's like, I'm definitely not trying to get attention from men, but I feel more confident in my skin. I like who I am. I like my life so much. I like who I'm becoming every day. We're not done. We are just getting started. My friend Erin, who is my podcast partner, she coined it, Hot 50. She's like, because her birthday, she's turning 50 like next week. And I was like, yeah, girl, you are Hot 50. Like Hot 50 is it. And I love that. Ooh, this one is a good one. Do I miss single life at all? No, not at all. Not one bit. Look, I'm a relationship girly, so I don't think I've ever really shared this on YouTube before, but I was in a long-term relationship 7 years from, I think 23 till 29 or 22 to 29 with someone. And then I was single for the first time when I was like 30 for about 2 years. Then I met someone and I think I was with him for about 4 years. Oh, I just spilled my whole matcha. Where was I? So then I was engaged to someone. And I think we were together for like 4 years or something like that. And then very quickly after I met my now husband. So I didn't really have a lot of like single time in between, which, quite honestly, I don't think that's ideal. I think you should have time alone, but, dating and being single and all of that, it was fun, but it's not. I like my life much more now. It's like more settled. With the exception of spilling matcha all over my brand new pantalones, I like my life a lot more. What is this question? What's your biggest guilty pleasure? Food, shopping, reality TV? Well, if you have been here for a while, you might know my absolute love for reality TV, The Real Housewives of pretty much anywhere. Big fan. But I don't feel guilty about that. And quite honestly, I don't feel guilty about anything. Like food, for sure, I do not. I feel like that is just something that I worked really hard to remove from my life. And so thankfully, I don't feel guilty ever about food. For instance, today I started my day with a croissant. Why? Because I wanted to. That is not, I know it's not a healthy choice. I know it's giving me zero protein. I know it's a croissant. But I was like, you know what? My body was like, girl, get that croissant. It was warm. It was delightful. It was delicious. And it's what I had. And then I had a salad niçoise for lunch. And I would have had a matcha. I'm going to get another one because I need a little boosty boost. But yeah, I don't feel guilty about anything like that. And do you ever feel pressure to keep up with younger influencers? No. In fact, okay, real talk. Last night I went to this event and it was, I would say mostly like TikTokers. And it was really funny because it was interesting to me how few of them have really utilized the platform of YouTube, which in my eyes, I'm like, good. You know, I think it's the best. I think it's the best platform, and the way we build community here and connection, and just, you know, I think it's the best. So no, I mean, sometimes I do feel like I don't feel like I know that I don't utilize TikTok in ways that I probably could, and I do think of it historically anyways as like a younger person's platform, but no. And the thing that I like the most being older and being an older influencer or content creator is like being at an event like last night. Like, I'm going to be the friendliest person in the room because I don't give an F anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel competition with anybody, even if it was a room full of 50-year-olds that do the exact same thing as me. And that's the beauty of age, is you just realize like there is room for all, and who you are is enough. And I do think that that's age and maturity. So there's that. Next one. Do you feel like your life looks glamorous online but isn't behind the scenes? Yes. I work so much. I work so hard. I am grateful that I have a team, but, you know, a lot of times it is just me, like I said, in my activewear with, you know, my hair looking like a disaster, and I am working and then momming, and really no break in between. I think that, you know, what I do, it looks like it's fun and, you know, like, oh, we're just kind of, I don't know, like doing all like the fun and the glamorous things, right? But in reality, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. Make zero mistake. It is a lot of work. So for people to think that it's just all fun and games, it's not. And it was funny, I did a photo shoot this morning, and I really liked my photographer. I'd never worked with her before, and she was saying, you know, it always looks like it's so much fun, but like, you girls really work so hard. I'm like, oh, because it's 24/7. You know, I have to post on the weekends. I have to, you know, I have deliverables, I have due dates, I have, you know, things that are, I'm accountable to other people. Like right now, I'm waiting on, I'm working right now. But it's a work trip, so that's fine. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, it is a lot of work. So I think that I am grateful for my dance background and my waiting tables background, and just like my like New York City girly that is just like, you know, I like to work. I like working. One of my dearest friends recently was like, I think you should work less. And I'm like, why? Like, why? I love what I do. And for me, it's really like a joy and a pleasure. All right, my arm is getting ties, and I need to get that new matcha. So we're going to take a little pause, take a little walk, get a new matcha, and we'll pick this up later. Thanks for coming to the park with me. No rats. Fully caffeinated. We've got the Something About Mary going on here, and let's get into it. So, do you ever feel pressure from haters or negative comments online? I love this question. Thank you for asking it. Honestly, this is, again, 50 is so nifty. Don't ever say that again. Okay, but truly, I don't. Number one, I have, you know, over 300 and I don't even know. Are we at 350,000? I think we are. So let's say that I have over 350,000 followers on YouTube alone, not to mention the almost 200,000 on Instagram. 90%, 95% of the comments are always like so loving, so kind. I absolutely get my share of negative comments, but like, number one, who's going to leave a negative comment? It's going to be someone unhappy. I've never left a negative comment anywhere about anyone. I certainly don't like every creator that's out there. So I just scroll on. And I always, remind myself of that. But I also think that this is after, I've been doing this for over a decade. So no, I don't. Yeah, I was even going to say, like, don't come after my family. But even if you did, like, don't. Yeah, like my daughter, I don't really put in my videos on purpose. My husband is like Señor Misterioso anyway. So yeah, it doesn't affect me at all. I'm like, okay, like it's fine. And I love the fact, and I have zero shame about this, that all platforms give us the ability to delete too. One thing I will never stand for is like if someone leaves a comment and then other people are kind of piling on. I don't think that's great. You know what I mean? Like meaning like bullying other people for saying something slightly negative to me. But then sometimes I'll just leave things up and I'll go, all right, whatever. But I try to always filter if I'm going to respond to a negative comment. Would I be comfortable with this being posted in the New York Times? And I think that that's a great way to think about it. You're not going to please everyone. Tracy, do you feel different turning 50 compared to 40? Yes, totally. 40, gosh, what did we do when I was, 40 was great. I was in Hawaii. I had like a business conference and then my husband came and met me and this was like pre-kid days and that was awesome. So, it was the first and only time I went to Hawaii. It was great. So that was like a fun birthday. 50 felt like such a big deal and everyone expects you to make like such a big deal about it. And my husband was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to have a party? And then finally I was just like, no. So we did a couple like events during that week. But I really was like, no, I do not want to have a big thing. And so far so good. We're almost 51. How much time do you spend on skincare every single day? Not that much. Honestly, not that much. I need things to be quick and effective. That's why serums are always something that I like to use, things that I can layer, things that are effective. Like don't spend your time on things that don't work. But I would say, it's different in the evening if I do gua sha, but that feels amazing. We love a gua sha moment. It just feels so good. So yeah, I don't do that much. How do you stay motivated to work out when you don't feel like it? Guys, like 90% of the time I don't feel like it. I mean, honestly, I love how I feel after a workout. So I always try and do what I call like playing the tape through. Like after the workout, I'm going to feel more energetic. After the workout, I'm going to be so happy that I did it. After the workout, I'm going to feel more confident in like my bathing suit and in my clothes. And I'm going to feel stronger and I'm going to have more energy. And, I'm also walking my talk, which is a big thing for me. So that's basically, a big one for me. Yeah. All right. I think that was an answer. So yeah, like motivation is not something that you find. Motivation is something that you cause, and you cause it by taking action. Write that down. Motivation is, we actually have this in TBT. This is like, we have a whole audio training all about motivation. And that's one of the things that I think is the most powerful is that you're never going to find your motivation. You have to cause it, and you cause it by getting up and pressing play. Period. What's your daughter's opinion about you being on YouTube or Instagram? So cute, the little monkey. She is adorable. So I think just now, she's just turned 6. I feel like in the last 6 months, she has a better understanding of what I do. I made a conscious choice when she was younger of not really working in front of her. I guess just because I was like, I don't want her to think that like my phone is like a toy. And like if I'm taking a picture, I don't like doing selfies and stuff like I just don't really like doing that in front of really anyone, but especially not her. But she's 6. So it was really funny about, 8 months ago or something. She was like, Mommy, are you famous? I was like, no, like, what do you mean? And then she said like one of the little girls at her school said that I was famous. And I was like, well, some people know who Mommy is, and that's what famous means. So I was like, in that sense, yes, some people know me if they follow me on social media. So she just knows that, like, I'll ask her, what does Mommy do for work? And she'll say, social media. I don't think she really knows what social media is, but that's okay. I am fortunate enough that I don't really have to work in front of her. I don't really like working in front of people. It's weird. I actually just hired someone to kind of help me with some of my videos, actually like shooting them and, you know, just to kind of speed up the process and make better content, right? And it's weird. It's super weird. Like where I feel the most comfortable is doing what we're doing right now. Is just like sitting down and talking to you, right? I don't know. It's kind of strange. All right, you know what? I think we answered a lot of questions. So if there's anything I didn't answer, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to take out the old something about Mary and go to dinner with friends. And I love you so much. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for asking questions. Ooh, that's a lot of hair. I appreciate you. I love you. Thanks for being part of this community. If you want to keep hanging with me here on YouTube, check out that video next. I'll see you there. All right. I love you so much. Bye.